Hello students, I hope that you all are fine, and I'm here with the next topic, transportation in human beings. In human beings, a rapid supply of nutrients, oxygen and hormones, as you know, to various tissues are required, and immediate disposal of all these waste products is an essential requirement. That's why all the human beings are having specialized circulatory or transport system. We called it as circulatory or transport system, and now we are going to discuss its components, which are counted as 1, 2, 3. First is circulatory medium it requires, which is called as blood. System of blood vessels through which this blood is circulated and reach to each and every body part, that is arteries, veins and capillaries. Third is central pumping organ called as heart. Now, I am going to discuss with the help of NCERT. Take a look of NCERT. Yes, in your NCERT, transportation topic is given, transportation in human beings. In this, we are going to discuss major topics, that is the heart structure, we have to discuss double circulatory system, blood pressure, blood vessels, platelets. I am going to explain in further videos, lymph, and transportation in plants also we have to discuss. And there are some in-text question answers are given. In this, first question is given that what are the components of transport system in human beings and what are the function of these components. Students, the answer of this question is going to discuss majorly in this video. So listen carefully. Let's discuss all these components one by one. First, take blood. Blood is a fluid connective tissue, as you have read in the 9th class also. It is a fluid connective tissue. Blood has a fluid matrix called plasma, in which all the three kind of cells are bathed. If we take 100% of blood composition, in this 55% of the blood is plasma, and left over 45% of the blood content is made up of blood cells. Now, let us discuss about plasma first. In this, plasma is a yellowish fluid. It contains majority of water, that is 90% of water is present in this, and dissolved substances such as proteins, and these proteins are actually fibrinogen and prothrombin, which helps in the blood clotting also. Substances as proteins, a common salt is dissolved in that, and digested food it contains, and hormones are also transported with the help of plasma. That's why I have written that plasma transport food, carbon dioxide and nitrogenous waste in dissolved form. Now after plasma, let's discuss blood cells. Blood cells, students, are of three types, that is RBCs, WBCs and platelets. I have made a small flowchart for you, that is WBCs are further divided into A granulocytes, granulocytes. A granulocytes are further of two types, monocytes and lymphocytes. About lymphocyte I will explain you later. And granulocytes are of acidophils, basophils and neutrophils. There are number of bases on the basis of which they are divided. And in your syllabus, actually RBC, WBC, platelets are important, lymphocytes are important, which are present in the lymph and acting as the antibodies. Let's discuss about the functions of RBC, WBC and platelets now. Now, take a detailed study of blood cells. As I have told you, blood cells are of three types, RBCs, that is red blood cells, WBCs, that is white blood cells, and platelets. RBCs are also called as erythrocytes. Erythrocytes. Maybe the question is asked in the form of this. WBCs are also called as leukocytes. Platelets are also called as thrombocytes. Right? Now, let us discuss on some parameters which I have written here about all these cells. That is, first parameter I have taken as lifespan. Lifespan of RBC cells, that is how much time these cells take to live, or their life is about 120 days. That is approximately 120 days erythrocytes are there. That is approximately 4 months, right? Next is WBCs. Life is about 15 days from their formation. Platelets life is about 4 to 5 days. After that, new platelets are formed in the blood. Next parameter is count in per millimeter cube of blood. That is count in per mm cube of blood. How much RBC, or we can say how many number of RBC cells are present in this much amount of blood. Yes, that is RBC count in per cubic mm of blood is approximately 5 to 5.5 million. And WBCs, how many WBCs are present in per cubic mm of blood? That is 6,000 to 8,000. Right? And how many platelets are present in per cubic mm of blood? That is 1.5 lakh to 3 lakh. That is the standardized number in which this we can say in this number these cells are present in our blood. So we can say maximum is of RBCs. So how much is per cubic mm of blood? For example, you are making a cube of 1 millimeter. And in this cubic area, how much amount of blood is there? That amount of blood contain how many RBCs, how many WBCs, and how many platelets are present in this much amount of blood which can occupy the space of 1 millimeter cube. That I have told you the count. Next is hemoglobin presence. Hemoglobin is always present in the RBC cells. As you know, that's why RBC cells have red color in there, and hemoglobin is also called as respiratory pigment, which is always present in the blood, gives blood a red color. And WBCs are not having this not having this hemoglobin. Platelets are also not having this hemoglobin. WBCs are actually colorless. Platelets are yellowish in color, and RBCs are red in color due to the presence of hemoglobin. Now I will tell you a fact that in healthy person, in healthy man or healthy woman, how much amount of hemoglobin is present. That is, hemoglobin is 12 to 16 gram of hemoglobin is also denoted as HB. This much amount of hemoglobin is present in every 100 ml of blood. Right? That is, in a healthy man, 14 to 16 gram of hemoglobin is always present, and in healthy woman, 12 to 14 gram of hemoglobin is present in 100 ml of blood, which is very essential property. Right? Next, let's discuss the functions of RBC. As RBC contain hemoglobin, therefore, hemoglobin bind to the oxygen form oxyhemoglobin, as I have tell you in the previous video also, that carry oxygen from lungs to tissues to all cells of the body. Right? Now WBC function is it manufacture antibodies which help to fight against disease causing microorganisms. Function of platelet is it helps in coagulation of blood, that is clotting of blood, you can say. Now, one of the point is there, which type of anticoagulant is present in our blood? Natural anticoagulant I am talking about. Can you name it? That is heparin. Can you name one artificial anticoagulant? One I will tell you, and one is for your homework. One is EDTA. That is the artificial anticoagulant which is used in blood banks to prevent the coagulation or clotting of blood in the blood bank. And there is the homework for you students that you have to find out one more artificial anticoagulant and message me on my number, right? Or send it on the comment box. Next is blood vessels. Students, blood vessels are of three types: arteries, veins, and capillaries. These capillaries, among all these three, are the thinnest because they are made up of single layer of cells, and through which all the exchange of gases, transportation of nutrients, hormones from blood to the cells takes place. Let us discuss the differences between the two main blood vessels, arteries and veins. Students, arteries carry blood from heart to different parts of the body. Any blood vessel which take away the blood from the heart is known as arteries. Veins are those which bring the blood from different parts of the body into the heart. Second point of difference is arteries are thick-walled and more elastic, whereas veins are thin-walled and less elastic. You can see with the help of this diagram, that is, arteries are thick-walled and veins are thin-walled. And arteries are also having narrow lumen, but veins are having wide lumen. So there is the answer of this, or you can say why arteries are having thick walls, because they exert highest pressure, because blood emerges from the heart under very high pressure through the arteries. And next is, all arteries carry oxygenated blood except pulmonary artery, which carry deoxygenated blood, right? And all veins carry deoxygenated blood except pulmonary vein. Pulmonary vein is that vein which brings, we can say, blood from the lungs. Arteries are deeply seated, veins are superficial. Fifth point is, arteries do not possess any valve, whereas in veins valves are present. You can see in this diagram that valves are present in the veins. Now this is your homework, students, that why valves are. Now the question is, why valves are present in veins whereas there is no valve in the arteries? This is your homework, students. You have to find out the answer why valves are present in veins.